Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher from URSA, and today we're talking about a follow focus, so let's get into it. So a follow focus is a staple in the camera rig, and basically what a follow focus does is it helps pull focus on any type of lens, and especially when you're using cinema lenses where you have a much further throw, and it's a lot harder to sort of move your hand like this in front of the lens, but obviously it moves your hand to the side, and it makes it a lot easier to make precise, accurate focus pulls. Not only that, you can also have markers on the side, so then first AC or whoever who is pulling focus can actually see where their marks are. Now, obviously when it comes to the indie filmmaking realm, or sort of the lower budget prosumer sort of market, there are a ton of follow focuses out there, but one of the biggest issues that I find with them is they're lacking like one or two little features that sort of take it to that next level, and they just, really bring down the overall value of them. Now, I've had some cheap ones in the past from Tilta and some like knockoff brands where basically they just go on the 15mm set of rails and they just, you tilt them up and basically that's it. And these aren't bad, and I don't want to totally trash talk these because obviously if, they make a huge difference already, but they're lacking a lot of pro features when it comes to setup time, ease of use, and just the actual like smoothness of the actual focus rack itself. So Axler was really kind enough to send out their Hammerhead follow focus system. Now, we're not sponsored by them, we're not paid by them or anything. They sent this to me to check out, and I have been incredibly happy with this follow focus system in general for a lot of reasons. One of the first things is that this thing is just built tough. Not only is it very smooth to actually move, but this thing just feels solid, but not solid in the sense that it's gonna be heavy, solid in the sense that it's gonna last and it's gonna be something that I can use on set all the time and not worry about it. So other than a couple little things, it's pretty much an all metal build, and this thing does attach to 15mm rods. One of the things I love is that this thing can be tightened down to 15mm rods, but you don't have to undo it every single time you change a lens. On the bottom, there's a nice little loosening nut that you can loosen, move the actual follow focus system out, replace your lens, and then of course move it back in, and it just is easy, it's quick, and it moves very, very smoothly. This thing is very nice because it has two adjustable hard stops. So this way, when I'm using photo lenses, such like I do quite often myself, I can have a hard stop for both ends of the actual focus range. And this way, it's not going to just sit there and try to focus forever or grind a gear or something of that nature. Again, having those hard stops is really nice if you're using photography lenses, like a lot of us probably lower budget people are. And one of the really nice things is if you're not using them, you can easily just loosen them and you don't have to have them. That's great because some of the cheaper versions that I've used in the past, unfortunately when you loosen them, they rattle or they move around and they just sound really bad. And the fact that I can, do that on this and just not have to worry about it is a much, much better piece. This thing also has a very super accurate marking, like there's a line that shows you exactly where your markers are. So typically on a follow focus, you would use some type of grease pen and mark up the focus points, maybe in a longer shot or again, hitting the marks so the actors, when they hit their marks, you have your focus marks. Well, the first AC has their focus marks. Now, typically you're kind of guessing in the past with some of these because you just have a line and you can't tell exactly where it's gonna stop. But this actually has a little circle with a line so that when you have those marks, it perfectly lines up and you know exactly where that marker is. And that's huge because again, when you're pulling set and maybe it's dark or it's not easy to see, to be able to have an exact point of like, okay, I know this is exactly where that mark is and this is exactly where that follow focus needs to be, that is a huge, huge help, especially in the pro market. Now again, this thing is pretty much fully adjustable in just about any way you could possibly imagine, and this thing is just built tough and it is just super smooth. Pulling focus with this thing is incredibly nice. Again, it just takes your hands off the lens and it just makes your focus pulls so much smoother in general. Now obviously they're not like reinventing anything here, but just in general, this is a really great follow focus, and one of the reasons being is for the price. So in my opinion, I've used some of the higher end follow focus systems in the past, and those can get incredibly expensive, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, and even higher, some in the $25,000 to $5,000 range. And honestly, this thing feels just about the same for a massive difference in price. And that's where I feel like this thing really shines, is the fact that you're getting that high-end follow focus sort of workflow. It's very smooth, you have all those nice features of moving the lens out, being able to attach to rods, and all that kind of stuff, making it very, very simple and easy, but again, for a much cheaper price. One of the things I forgot to mention too is one of the things I love about the actual rail system is instead of it being a rail system that slides onto the rail, it actually just can like clamp onto them. So you can actually pull it on and off without having to slide it off the rails. That doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you have other stuff on the rails, for instance, I actually use the rails to mount my shoulder, the actual arm piece of a shoulder rig. If I had another follow focus, I'd have to pull it off every single time, where this one I can just lift it up and lift it on every single time that I want to put it on or take it off. So that makes a huge difference when you have other accessories on the 15mm rails. And again, if you're someone that has a lot of stuff going on the rails, that's a huge selling point, because again, to be able to pull that on and off very easily is a big game changer. So I've been really happy with this follow focus system in general. It's definitely going to live on my rig. If I had a gripe about it, it's the blue. I like the colored blue, but it's kind of a weird colored blue, but I mean, that's nitpicking. You could probably paint if you really wanted to that bad. But overall, this thing is really great. It's gonna be living on my rig for sure. And again, when I'm not using the wireless follow focus system, the Nucleus M, I'm definitely going to be using this on the actual rig itself. So I've been very happy. And actually, if you do want to see a video about the Nucleus M, be sure to subscribe down below. We have a couple different rig videos coming soon on some other stuff we put on it. We also have the behind the scenes of a short film coming very soon, as well as a ton of other videos on some gear we bought, Steadicam, all kinds of stuff. So be sure to subscribe if you're not already for that. I'm also going to have a link down below to the Axler follow focus, so be sure to give him some love. If you're looking for a follow focus, highly recommend it. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.